the Fallout video game franchise has just made history in an unexpected way. Never have we ever seen a video game over a decade old like Fallout 4 make such a historic comeback in player counts. But it's not just Fallout 4, it's the entire franchise, including games like Fallout 76 and Fallout New Vegas. Sure, we've seen games make minor comebacks in recent years, like Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, or even more recently Cyberpunk 2077, but nothing has come close to the degree of hype the brand new Fallout TV show has brought to its video game franchise. Today, we'll go over how Amazon's Fallout TV show has not only revived the game's old player base, but also brought in a wave of brand new gamers to the Fallout series who are ready to dive deep into the wastelands. Before we get into how this happened though, I'll give everyone a brief refresher on the history of the Fallout franchise up until this point. The story of Fallout actually begins all the way back to the mid-90s with a company called Interplay Entertainment. In 1997, they introduced the world to a groundbreaking video game simply titled Fallout. This game plunged players into a post-apocalyptic setting, a stark and desolate world emerging from the ashes of nuclear devastation. Fallout was set in an alternate timeline diverging after World War II, which imagined a future shaped by 1950s America's atomic culture obsession, complete with retro-futuristic technologies and Cold War paranoia. What set Fallout apart from other games at the time was its unique blend of dark humor and a deep, narrative-driven experience, which you weren't seeing in any other games at the time. Keep in mind, this was 1997. These were the types of games it was competing against. The original Fallout game employed an isometric view, which was very popular at the time with games like Roller Coaster Tycoon and Diablo. Fallout utilized a turn-based combat system, which was a staple in many RPGs of that era. However, Fallout introduced a novel feature known as the Special System, an acronym standing for Strength, Perception, Endurance, Charisma, Intelligence, Agility, and Luck. This system underpinned every action and decision in the game, from dialogue choices to combat, making each player's experience uniquely responsive to their character's build. This special system added a whole new layer to the RPG genre that wasn't seen before and would make the game stand out amongst its competitors. The narrative of Fallout was compelling as players assumed the role of a vault dweller tasked with venturing out from an underground bunker, Vault 13, to retrieve a critical piece of technology to ensure the survival of their community. This quest quickly ballooned into a sprawling adventure through irradiated California, filled with warring factions, moral dilemmas, and a wide array of characters, each with their own stories and quests. This open-world approach, combined with the game's responsiveness to player choices, fostered a deep sense of immersion and replayability. No game at the time in 1997 was doing it quite like Fallout, giving players multiple choices that had real effects on their game's outcomes. And because of this innovative gameplay and storytelling, Fallout quickly garnered critical acclaim and a devoted fanbase. Its success led to the creation of multiple sequels, each building upon the last in terms of scale and complexity. Now, I'm not saying all the games within the Fallout franchise were amazing, Brothers of Steel, but with each new game, the franchise's lore deepened, the game world expanded, and the narrative continued to evolve, exploring different aspects and the areas of its nuclear-ravaged world. Unfortunately, after the release of Fallout 4 in 2015, which was generally well received, Bethesda sought to capitalize on the franchise's popularity by expanding into a new direction with Fallout 76, which was released in 2018. Fallout 76 was an ambitious attempt to translate the traditionally single-player Fallout experience into an online multiplayer environment. The idea was to create a dynamic world where players could interact, collaborate, and compete with one another within the framework of the Fallout universe. For the longest time, fans of the Fallout franchise were looking for a solid multiplayer title, and if done correctly, Fallout 76 would satisfy their needs.
You know, someone asked me yesterday, like, hey, you know, when you think your review is gonna go up? And I'm like, no one on staff wants to play any more of this video game. Like I'm not gonna subject myself to another 20, 30 hours of this fucking mess.
It's really upsetting.
To put a number on it. My number is fucking don't play this game.
Unfortunately, the launch of Fallout 76 was met with significant criticism, with several factors contributing to its rocky start. Firstly, there was a massive amount of technical issues. Fallout 76 was plagued by numerous bugs and technical problems at launch. Players reported server instability, performance issues, and a multitude of glitches that significantly impacted the gameplay experience.
I am upside down. What is going on here?
What the fuck? You're through the roof?
What happened?
I don't know, you're in the roof.
I am outside the planet.
But it wasn't just the bugs that ran rampant within the game. The absence of human NPCs at launch, which is a staple component of previous Fallout games that enriched the story and world, left many players feeling the game lacked depth and emotional engagement. Fallout's appeal had largely been in its rich storytelling and player-driven choices impacting the world, but Fallout 76's initial lack of these elements resulted in a loss of what many fans considered core to the Fallout experience. And then there were the monetization concerns. Fallout 76 introduced a series of microtransactions that were unfavorably received by the community. Players expressed concerns about the potential for pay-to-win scenarios and felt that the pricing was excessive for cosmetic and functional items within the game. As a result, the player count and overall interest in Fallout 76 dwindled significantly after its launch. Longtime fans of the series and new players alike were disappointed, leading to a noticeable decrease in community engagement and excitement around the franchise. The decline in enthusiasm was palpable, and the franchise seemed to be at an all-time low. Although the developers would continue to add significant updates to Fallout 76, it would go unnoticed by the majority of regular Fallout players who have since abandoned the game. Unfortunately, most were simply unaware of how much Fallout 76 has been updated since its initial launch, but this would change very soon. From this point on, most people thought the Fallout franchise was dead in the water. But behind the scenes, Bethesda, along with a couple Amazon executives, were cooking up something special for their fans. The Fallout TV show was announced in July of 2020. This announcement came at a crucial time when interest in the Fallout franchise was at an all-time low. The show was set to be produced by Amazon Studios, with Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, the creators behind the critically acclaimed series Westworld, at the helm. Their involvement was a significant selling point, as their expertise in crafting compelling narratives within complex, richly detailed worlds promised a quality adaptation of the Fallout universe. These were some serious producers coming from Amazon Studios, which has been pumping out amazing TV shows as of recent, like The Boys, and even more recently, the spin-off Gen V. The concept of adapting Fallout into a TV series was in general very appealing. The franchise, known for its deep lore, morally complex narrative, and dark humor, seemed like an ideal candidate for a television format which allows for expansive storytelling and character development over multiple episodes. The prospect of exploring the post-apocalyptic wasteland within its factions, creatures, and iconic locations generated considerable excitement and speculation among fans about how faithfully the TV show would adhere to the game's lore and what new elements it might introduce. Over the next 2 years, anticipation built as more details emerged. It was revealed that the show would strive to maintain the aesthetic essence of the games, including the retro-futuristic technology and the societal commentary that had become hallmarks of the series.
What do you need?
Something nasty's living just around the corner from here. It's only a matter of time before there's some real trouble. What's really too bad is it'd be a nice spot for a new settlement. In fact, I know some folks that'd love to set up there if it was safe. If you could make sure the old workshop there is still in one piece, anyone who decides...
The inclusion of the direct references to the games, such as Vault-Tec Corporation and the presence of recognizable creatures and factions, reassured fans that the show would respect the source material. Respecting the source material is very important when trying to appease longtime fans of a video game adaptation, as we've seen go so horribly wrong with the Far Cry adaptation. Essentially, nothing within the Far Cry games were featured within the movie, apart from maybe the name of the movie itself, and that led to many fans being upset. Obviously, you have to be a little realistic in the fact that the TV show is not going to follow the franchise's lore 100%, but even if it follows it 75% while keeping the show interesting, I'd say that's pretty good. When the Fallout TV show finally premiered on April 10th of 2024, it was met with a ton of hype. The series managed to capture the atmospheric tension and dark humor of the games, while also introducing new storylines and characters that expanded the existing lore. Visually, the show was praised for its faithful recreation of the Fallout world, from the desolate landscapes to the detailed set designs that echoed the game's unique style. I mean, the first season of the show cost over $153 million to produce, and the quality of the sets definitely shows why. In terms of narrative, while the show introduced new elements to broaden appeal to a non-gaming audience, it retained the core aspects of the Fallout narrative framework. It explored familiar themes like the consequences of nuclear war, the struggle for survival, and the complex dynamics of power and governance in a post-apocalyptic society.
At first glance, your treatment of this man appears unfair, and I'm obliged to intervene. Now, if your instinct is to harm me, as a person simply trying to de-escalate a conflict, then I'll have to assume of the two of you, you are likely the primary aggressor. In which case, I think everyone in this town would agree the force is justified. Unless you willingly stand down now.
Fucking Fallout. Well,
this mix was absolutely perfect for ensuring old fans of Fallout were pleased with the narrative, while new fans who've never experienced the Fallout franchise before were happy with the general storyline. Now, it's not all positives though, as some diehard fans are upset with the fact in which some of the lore within Fallout's TV show is removing the lore of other games like Fallout New Vegas. I won't go too in depth for spoiler reasons, but essentially timelines within the show don't line up with Fallout New Vegas and erased most of that game's lore. However, though, most fans of the franchise aren't Fallout historians and could care less if minor details don't exactly line up one for one within the game. But this has led to the largest, but in all actuality, relatively small backlash from the TV show. So, with mostly positive reviews on the release of the Fallout TV show, it's led to a noticeable resurgence in interest in the Fallout franchise. Fans of the show, new to the Fallout universe, turned to the games to experience the stories and settings they saw on screen, leading to increased player counts and renewed activity in online communities. Additionally, the show reignited enthusiasm among existing fans, many of whom returned to the games either to revisit the experience or catch up on any content they might have missed. The renewed interest in the Fallout franchise following the TV show's release is also reflected in the marketing and sales strategy for the game. In a timely move, all of Fallout games were put on sale on Steam for some fantastic prices. You can essentially pick up any of the Fallout games within the franchise for less than $10. This strategic pricing adjustment made the games more accessible to a broader audience, enticing both new viewers of the TV show and returning fans who might have missed earlier installments or expansions. The sale effectively capitalized on the heightened awareness and buzz created by the show, further boosting player engagement and sales. Moreover, the TV show has played a pivotal role in reshaping perceptions of Fallout 76.
And that trailer was so good, it doesn't even matter if the show is good or not. The marketing machine has served its purpose, and we were all hungry for Todd's succulent apocalypse saucing. Fallout 76 is exactly what it was supposed to be 5 years ago.
Mike, what did you do to this poor woman? Why did you put a black bag over her head?
I was expecting a wasteland. I mean, technically it is a wasteland. A time capsule to maybe 3 years ago, whenever Bethesda abandoned this game. But it turns out they never did.
Despite its initial rocky start, Fallout 76 has undergone significant updates and improvements since its release. The developers have continuously worked to address the criticisms faced at launch, such as adding human NPCs, expanding the storyline, and stabilizing gameplay to create a more engaging and immersive experience. The TV show's success has encouraged former players to give Fallout 76 another chance, leading them to discover a vastly improved game that now better embodies the essence of the Fallout series. Most Fallout fans haven't played Fallout 76 since it first released, and were most likely unaware of the significant changes made to the game. This reintroduction to Fallout 76 has helped rehabilitate its reputation within the gaming community. The influx of players has reignited the game's community, leading to more dynamic interactions in a revitalized online world. But it's not just Fallout 76 that has seen massive surges in player counts. It's all their games, especially Fallout 4, which has a huge next-gen update coming out, despite the game being nearly a decade old. This update was strategically announced right after the release of the Fallout TV show to further build hype within the franchise and revive all the old Fallout games. The increased player engagement has also sparked a resurgence in community content, discussions, and YouTube videos like the one you're watching right now. The TV show not only served as a successful adaptation, but also an effective promotional tool reviving the amazing universe of Fallout video games. If you like gaming videos like this one, consider subscribing.